Good program. Because as long as it's something that you have to be able to see, you fix it hardwood too.
Serious project last night. It wouldn't format the disk. I could format an old disk, but if you put an unformatted new disk in there, it's an error. So
oh, really?
At least this time you're going to give them before I do. Yeah, okay. That's good. Like that. Yeah. Yeah. How you doing there, Rick? Good. You? How did the meeting go last time? Good turnout. It was like 138 kids. We're hoping no more than 150, so 138
I'm Deanna Sheridan from North Coast. You had a...
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Same my money.
Okay.
On the bus is it's called Bus View, as you can see. And basically, the reason I wrote it was to have some way of doing some workshops in the user groups. And there are different kinds of software being demonstrated, or different kinds of things that people do. What I wanted to do was to have a screen function thing, which lets you do different kinds of things on a screen for demonstration purposes. And basically, this is a word processing companion environment. It's similar to an operating system only for a word processor. And the word processor I use is Bundleware, but it can use any TI writer form. And this is the first version of Plus because I had done a thing called Funnel Plus about 2 years ago, and a lot of users who got it wrote me a lot of letters and say, too bad you couldn't do this on a TI writer, or too bad you couldn't do that on a TI writer. But you can do most things on a TI writer. It's a very flexible program. And excuse me. And this program that's up here now lets you do this kind of thing. It has this annoying music that goes in the back the whole time. You shut that off, it goes. But basically, the Plus has load file on a single key. And with that single key load file, you can just type a number, let's say a number 3. And that number 3 will automatically set your tabs so that your screen is 38 columns wide and can be easily read, as you'll see in a few minutes. And it also loads in a whole bunch of other things. It loads in an include file that you have, and the entire control over your printer, like Talix and all those things, are already built in. You don't have to use it, you don't have to reload it every time. It's just done with an include file. And this whole transliteration key will also let you do graphics right inside your TI writer, and the graphics are very easy to do. with that include files feature. It's all done automatically and has the full web features are kept, the funnel web features are kept. And you have to have a disk drive, 32K monitor, and a plus disk, and some form of TI writer. Funnel web, I'd still say would be the best because they have other things built into it. And how to use it? You just simply load funnel web. You put the plus in drive 1, you select the editor, and load file, for example, number 3. There are 8 different templates on there of this type. Then you type your text, you can astound yourself with its convenience and speed. Amuse your enemies and amaze your friends. And it has some of the plus features include auto-whipping, that the include filing, which I'll show you in a second. Tutorials below, because a lot of the people who had gotten Funnel Plus said that they liked some features, but they didn't understand others. So when I did Plus, I made a point of doing some tutorials, and I sent out copies to a whole pile of people with all different kinds of printers and different ways of life to beta test it. And the testers came back with some fantastic features, ideas for features that I loaded into this. It has a lot of mini programs, which I'll show you in a second. Mini programs are really good because you don't have to load whole piles of things. You can get right into a mini program that will make labels and mail addresses and stuff like that. And the personal options are the thing that you're really working for. All the printer options in my funnel web are here if you're using funnel web. And the transliteration key, which is probably a big part of Plus, lets you do multi-function keying fairly simply, which I'll show you in a second. It has a lot of embedded graphics and gives you an immense amount of keyboard power. But the idea of personalization is the thing. Basically, Plus really has one main function, at least as far as I was concerned when I wrote it. And that is for you to devise a word processing system for yourself. And it has all kinds of features in it that let you take this and that and modify. Everything can be read. Nothing is copy protected. And it all can be read very easily. And the tutorial even tells you what lines to go to make certain kinds of personal changes. And so what you're trying to do is design for yourself the best word processor you can use. And it has some other features besides word processing too. So that's basically what Plus is all about, I think. And although it has some other kinds of things. Charlie Good did an excellent tutorial on the configuration, which he allowed you to put inside the disk too, but when you're using funnel web, how to configure that. And he also shows you how to redefine and create templates and unlock the formatting power. Many of you will probably do that already. And you can do, it has, in addition to those kinds of word processing, it also has a screen dump program, which is called, I call it Insta-Dump, because it'll let you dump, and I'll show you some samples of it, instantly. It has a desk calendar, which you can put anything on, any date that you'd like. It has a year calendar, which you can personalize with your own name or your company's name or anything else on it. And it has banners. The banners let you even create your own designs if you want to. Not to the level of CSGD. These are block graphics. It'll instantly print a DV80 file. If you have any DV80 file, instead of loading up your word processor or funnel web or anything else, you can just simply load InstaPrint, and it will print out whatever it is, just as if it was in your edit screen. You'll print it out right there. The auto TLing, the auto transliteration, is probably the biggest feature of all. And the this just simply lets you have power over your whole keyboard. And this particular program lets you also, as you can see, type in things, and I can recall a page if I just want to press E. I can get back to E, and that'll come back up there if I want to, So if you're using this kind of a program like PlusView, you can just modify it to anything you want to present at your users group. And this happens to just present this stuff here. But basically, I would like to get to what Plus actually does and show you some examples of how quickly these things can be done. In the manual that comes with Plus, which is on the disk, I'll just take a few seconds in front here while it's setting up. I passed out a sheet of paper to show how I would put together a manual. And if you didn't get it, there's on those back seats up there. And what I always do is, when I have any kind of docs, there seems to be an awful lot of problems with people having documentation, and they have it everywhere, and they don't know what to do with it, and it's hard to, excuse me, it's hard to control, and when you're looking for a particular program, all of a sudden you can't find the documentation for it, and it's something that's absolutely essential. What I usually do is print out the whole thing, rip off the right-hand side of the tractor piece that's shown on that thing, take a couple of these paper fasteners and stick them in, and keep the tractor feet as the holes are already punched, of course, and then just take some cellophane tape or masking tape and use it as a binder. And then I take a bunch of labels, and to label plus, I label each of the files on plus, and I also have in here funnel plus and label each of those files. And I can find the things very easily, and the manual's with me all the time. Excuse me. So then I further do, when I was in kindergarten, I learned all I really had to know in life. And one of them was colors. I learned red and yellow and orange and green. Most of you probably did that same thing. And I found that when I stay with colors, I can finally organize my life, because my wife said I'm probably the most disorganized person in the world. And she's right, except that when it comes to colors, nobody beats me. I figured about my kindergarten teacher was extraordinary. So what I do with my with discs is that I buy a lot of colored discs like Sentinel or Fuji, and so all my yellow discs are word processing discs. And then I have database discs, and they're all white, and so on and so forth. So now if I get them out of the envelope, I can put them down, and I know that they're my database disk over here, or my word processing disk. And I find that for me, a disorganized person, that's really a neat thing to do. Then I also decided that what if I have 3 or 4 different kinds of graphics disks. The graphics things that are out there, like CSGD and printed and those things, they're really fantastic. So if I have blue disks for graphics, how do I differentiate them? Again, my old kindergarten teacher came in handy, and I get envelopes. All the green ones are for CSGD with the blue graphics disk inside. And if you tend to have a lot of disks, I really recommend this color-coding system. But it works even better once you have made manuals, because I found that you could buy a box of those colored paper clips, and I put them through the top. I don't have one here, but I put the color through the topmost thing, and all the yellow ones are all my word processing manuals, and I can stick them up inside a little bookcase, and I can see all my yellow word processing manuals are there, and all my blue ones and stuff like that. And I found that this really does me well, and so you might want to consider when if you have a lot of discs that you use a lot, and you tend to shuffle them around and get lost, go back to your old kindergarten days and redo your library. It's really very effective that way. Okay, now I just want to do some plus things with you, and then I'll refer to some of these pages in here simply because some of the things that come on the printer obviously won't all have a chance to see it. So first I'm going to load TI-99, and when you use a disk like FunnelWeb and Plus, hopefully, you very seldom have to come out of the thing, And I'll show you some of the items on the Instaprints a little bit later. But first, I want to get right into the meter Plus, which is to be able to do things automatically. If I said load file, and it has DS2 already in there, and I just load 3. Now this 3 will automatically do all the things I mentioned just a few seconds ago. Now what it has up here, and just get rid of my numbers, it says if DS1 C3, and then behind this carriage return. Yeah, when you're using TI-99, anytime you write anything after a carriage return, it doesn't print out, but it'll stay on the screen. You can save it, and it doesn't use up any more space. So everything that's after this uses no more space than the things that this is already set aside for you. So a lot of times when I'm writing some things on the screen, I put the carriage return and then put a little note after it for myself, and I put it, put all these notes all over the place. Particularly if you're working on something over and over again, text file.